Citizens, last Friday night, a veteran news anchor at WABC in New York City looked into the camera and he told his viewers something that every household in this country needs to hear. Bill Ritter, 76 years old, nearly 30 years as an eyewitness news anchor, a man tens of millions of New Yorkers have invited into their living rooms for nearly 3 decades. He looked into that camera and he said, after a series of tests, his doctors have told him he has early stage Alzheimer's disease. He said the treatments he is getting are keeping it at bay for now, but there is no guarantee, none, because there is no cure for Alzheimer's yet. And so he announced his last newscast as an anchor. But here's the part the rest of the country missed. Bill Ritter is not walking away from journalism. He's staying on at WABC, and he's staying on to do what he calls digging deeper into the rising tide of Alzheimer's and how the price of treatment and the price of caring for patients is, in his exact words, simply unaffordable. Now, for most American families, and Bill Ritter knows this disease, his own father died with it in 1988, and his wife was the first to notice the symptoms in him. He had started forgetting names, forgetting places, 2 years before any doctor had a diagnosis to give him. Citizens, here's what your brain needs to know this week. Bill Ritter's announcement is not a celebrity story. It's a warning shot for every household in the wealthy nation. Because what happened to Bill Ritter is happening in millions of American families right now, quietly, in the background, years before anyone says the words Alzheimer's out loud. And the truth that the financial industry and the medical industry will not tell you in the same sentence is the truth this show is about to build, is what's built on. Your brain and your bank account are 2 pages of the same book. When one of those pages starts to slip, the other usually slips first. The science says it, the financial data says it, and the families who have lived through it say it loudly. So tonight, we're going to walk through what just happened to Bill Ritter, what the science actually shows, and what the wallet actually shows, and the 3 things you can do this week to protect both. Start with the science. Last January, researchers at Johns Hopkins published a study in the journal Nature Medicine. They followed more than 15,000 American adults for 4 decades. And here's what they found. If you reach age 55, your lifetime risk of dementia is around 42%. I want you to let that sit for a moment. 42%. If you reach 55 today, almost half of you in the wealthy nation will face some form of dementia in your lifetime. That number is more than double what researchers thought just a generation ago. By age 75, about 4 in every 10 people will have it. By age 85, that number climbs to 20 in every 100. And for some groups, the lifetime risk runs even higher. For women, for Black Americans, for people who carry the APOE4 gene, the lifetime risk is closer to 60%. This isn't a story about getting unlucky. This is what is associated with living longer. And here's the paradox. Modern medicine has extended our lifespan. Heart disease, better managed. Diabetes, better managed. Cancer survival, climbing. But the brain is still the most vulnerable organ in your body. And every year of life we add after 75 is a year of higher risk. A separate paper published last year in Lancet found that 45% of dementia cases are linked to modifiable risk factors. 45%. Let me say that number one more time. 45% linked to modifiable risk factors. That means they're linked to things we can actually do something about. Now we're going to come back to that. Now, here's the part that almost no one in financial media is talking about. What does the financial side look like? Last June, researchers in the United Kingdom published a study in JAMA Network Open. They looked at 66,000 bank accounts. 16,000 of those accounts belonged to people who later lost the legal ability to handle their own finances. And what they found should stop every citizen cold. The wallet often slips before the memory does, years before. Less spending on travel, less spending on hobbies, more fraud reports, more lost cards, more pen resets, more online banking sessions that just stop happening. 5 years before any legal paperwork, the banking data was already telling a story that nobody was reading. A separate American study using 20 years of data from the Health and Retirement Study found the same pattern playing out in US households. In the 8 years leading up to a dementia diagnosis, median household net worth drops from around $217,000 to around $104,000. That is half of the family's life savings, quietly disappearing. Before any doctor has the word Alzheimer's on a piece of paper. A third study, this one from Columbia University, published in the American Journal of Epidemiology. It found that financial decline is associated with memory loss. The two go together. We're not saying one causes the other. We're saying the same biological process that is starting to affect the memory is also affecting the part of the brain that handles risk and math and judgment and the ability to spot a scam. The part of the brain that handles your money is the same part of the brain that holds your independence. So when families finally see it, when the diagnosis finally lands, the financial damage has already been done. The credit cards have already been opened. The shady investments have already been made. The savings account has already been drained. And no one knew because no one was looking at the right page of the book. Now, I want you to know that the industry, they never respected us. We were customers to them, numbers on a spreadsheet. But what we're doing here is we are building a nation. And in this nation, this one right here, citizens get the truth. So here's the truth the industry will not tell you. The retirement target keeps moving. Northwestern Mutual just released their 2026 Planning and Progress Study. The number Americans say they need to retire comfortably, $1,460,000. The number returned to its 2024 high after dipping to 1,260,000 in 2025. 73% of Americans say they feel behind. 3 out of every 4 households in this country are looking at that number and feeling a knot in their stomach. What do you feel when you hear it? But here's what the financial industry is not saying out loud. That $1.46 million number does not account for what a dementia diagnosis costs a family, because a single dementia diagnosis in a single American family can cost more than $400,000 over a lifetime. Care, co-pays, lost income from spouses who leave the workforce to caregive, long-term care that Medicare does not cover. This is not a number on a spreadsheet. This is a family. This is somebody's mother, somebody's grandfather, somebody's husband. And here's the math that should make every citizen sit up straight. The Employee Benefit Research Institute estimates that a 65-year-old man retiring today will need about $212,000 just to cover health care and retirement. A woman, about $252,000. That number doesn't include long-term care. That number does not include dementia. Add it up, and the so-called magic number starts to look like a quiet lie. Citizens, if this is the kind of truth you came here for, I want you to take a second, take a moment, and hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. Because every week we come back to this spot with one job: your brain, your money, your life. And we don't ask the industry for permission to tell you the truth. Subscribers get every episode, every segment, every fact check first. Subscribe and stay in the nation. But citizens, here's the good news. Bill Ritter said it himself. He's not giving up. He is using his sharp ears to fight back. And the science says you can fight back too. Last month, researchers at the Center for Brain Health in UT Dallas published a study in Scientific Reports. Nearly 4,000 adults from age 19 to age 94 followed for 3 years. 5 to 15 minutes a day. 5 to 15 minutes, shorter than your morning coffee. 5 to 15 minutes of targeted brain practice. And they measured the improvements in thinking, in connection, in emotional balance at every single age tested from 19 to 94. It is never too late. It is never too early. Now circle back to the Lancet paper, the one that says 45% of dementia cases are linked to modifiable risk factors. What are those factors? Hearing loss left untreated, blood pressure left unmanaged, diabetes, social isolation, air pollution, lack of sleep, depression, excessive drinking, less than a high school education, traumatic brain injury, physical inactivity, smoking, obesity, untreated vision loss, high cholesterol later in life. 14 factors, nearly half of all dementia cases, linked to things we can actually do something about. This is not bad luck. This is not about genetics alone. This is about the daily decisions that protect the brain over decades. So here's the playbook. 3 things you can do this week, not someday, not when you're 75, not when something goes wrong. This week. Number 1, build your cognitive reserve. 5 to 15 minutes a day of targeted brain practice. Not the same crossword you've done 1,000 times. Not solitaire on your phone. The research points to learning, strategy, new skills, a new language, a musical instrument, a complex card game, reading something hard and arguing about it with someone you respect. Anything that makes your brain work harder than it worked yesterday. Number 2, get the modifiable risk factors handled. Big 4, blood pressure, hearing, sleep, social connection. If your blood pressure is creeping up, get it managed. If you're squinting at the closed captions on the TV, get your eyes checked. Get a hearing screen. If you're not sleeping 7 hours a night, fix it. If you're isolated, pick up the phone and call someone today. Bill Ritter said his wife noticed his symptoms first. That's not an accident. The people closest to you are your early warning system. Stay close to them. Number 3, and this is the one no one is talking about. Schedule an annual brain memory check-in. 1 day a year. Sit down with your spouse. Sit down with your adult children and review the bank statements, the credit card statements, the investment accounts, the medication list, the doctor you were seeing, the names you've been forgetting, the bills you have been late on, the conversations you have been repeating, all of it on the same day, once a year. Because the brain and the money are 2 pages of the same book. If you only look at one page at a time, you'll miss what the other one is telling you. Some families do this around tax time. Some families do it around the holidays. Just pick a day, put it on the calendar, and do not skip it. This is the single most powerful protection a family can build against the silent decade before any diagnosis ever lands. Here's a warning: don't wait for the diagnosis. Don't wait for the moment when your spouse finally says something is wrong. Don't wait for the credit card bill that comes in with charges that you don't remember. Don't wait for the phone call from the bank. Don't wait for the moment when you cannot remember whether you took your medication this morning or not. By the time those moments arrive, much of the damage has already been done. And here's the other warning: don't let the financial industry sell you a magic number. That $1.46 million figure does not protect you from a dementia diagnosis. It does not protect your spouse from becoming a full-time caregiver. It does not protect your adult children from making impossible decisions about your care. The number is not the protection. The conversation is the protection. The plan is the protection. The annual brain money check-in is the protection. Citizens, here's what I'm asking you to do. 3 things. First, share this episode. Send it to your spouse. Send it to your adult children. Send it to your parents. Send it to a friend that you've been worried about. Send it to the brother who lost his wife too early, onset Alzheimer's last year. This is not a video about celebrities. This is a video that could save someone you love hundreds of thousands of dollars and hundreds of nights of grief. Share it. Second, if you are anywhere near Connecticut, we are holding the Wealthy Brain Hour live June 30th. We'll be at the Cromwell Senior Center on 41 West Street in Cromwell, Connecticut. The doors open at noon. The program starts at 1:30, and it's free to walk-ins. Their walk-ins are welcome. You will meet Dr. Joan Monin from the Yale School of Public Health. You will meet professional caregivers who have walked this road with hundreds of families. You will meet citizens who are living with cognitive change and speaking openly about it. Bring a notebook, bring a friend, bring the person you love who needs to hear this. If you can't make it, send the link to someone who can. Third, and this is the big one, sign up for the email list at agingwealthily.com, because every single week we are going to keep doing this work. The work the industry will not do. The work that protects your brain. The work that protects your wallet. The work that protects your family. And finally, here's your charge for this week. Just one thing. Sit down at your kitchen table. Do it tonight, tomorrow, this weekend. And have one conversation. Not the big conversation. Not the full estate plan. Just one conversation with the person closest to you. Ask them this question: if something happened to my brain in the next 5 years, who would notice first? And then listen. Listen to what they say. Listen what they do not say. Listen to the look on their face, because they have already been noticing. The people who love you always notice first. Your job, citizen, your job this week is to give them permission to tell the truth. That is it. One thing, one conversation before next Sunday. Now, citizens, before you go, if something in this hour landed for you, subscribe. We saved you a seat in the nation, and we'll be right here every day. Same desk, the same stool, same job. Your brain, your money, your life. Because we don't age quietly. We age wealthily. Take care of your brain.